From breaking the internet to breaking boundaries, it's rare to see an agency evolve into a new age media company. Wubba or WLDD made headlines by acquiring one of India's first digital content publications, ScoopWhoop. What sparked this strategic move? What's next for WLDD? On this episode of The Quick Call, I've got some inside scoop from the co founder and CEO, Arihant Jain. Welcome to The Quick Call, Arihant.
Thank you so much, Hitesh, for having me here.
I'll jump right into the conversation, Arihant. Tell me what went behind this epic acquisition of ScoopWhoop.
Right. So it's a very interesting story. 3 years back, when ScoopWhoop was first acquired by Good Glam, three and a half years back, I actually messaged a lot of people from Good Glam and I tried reaching out to them to tell that, hey, we understand you'll have acquired ScoopWhoop. We also, WLED as a company would love to come and help you all with the content because we since then believed that we can really do a great job creating good content on Scoopoo, right? So the journey of the first time that we thought we want to work on Scoopoo started then, and over the last couple of years, whenever we've seen news around Good Glam and Scoop Whoop in general, we've always asked around, hey, if can we, is there a potential that we can come and work with Scoop Whoop or work on the operations and do a profit sharing with the Good Glam group? Or last 6 months we started messaging them if we can acquire it and all, right? But this year, when the first report came in about Good Glam Group, I think that was the first time where we messaged Done Deals, which is the super platform to buy and sell companies. And we have already, because we had already done two acquisitions there, we had a great level of comfort with Rohit, who is the founder of Done Deals. So we pinged Rohit ki, hey, I think there is a very high chance that Scoopop might come out for sale and we would love to buy it. Rohit mentioned that hey, there are three other players who messaged the same to him that same day. So yeah, that's when the journey started, and it was a game of negotiation and speed. This is the first time when we are doing a transaction which is way beyond our pay grade and our expectation and something that we've not thought of, right? Ki, hey, can we ever spend 20 crore rupees to buy a company or a media asset? Maybe in our wildest dream, we wouldn't have thought of it. But when the opportunity came, uh, we got on a call with the promoters and uh, yeah, we told that, hey, we are the rightful people to run it. Yeah, that is our exact statement to the promoters of Good Glam that there might be 100 people with a lot more money than us. There might be 50 more people who would want to come and give you offers left, right, and center. There might be 10 people who would be seriously interested also in buying it, but there is one company that will do justice to it, and that's WLDD. And in our first call itself of 20 minutes, we closed the transaction numbers, we closed the intent, and we closed the timeline that we want to do it. Purely because me and my co-founders had already discussed on what we can do with ScoopWhoop, where can we take it, right? So we didn't have to get into कि सर आपका revenue कितना है, आपके website visit कितने हैं, आपका ये कितना है, वो कितना है. We knew कि ठीक है, it is at X today, but with efforts, it can reach Y and Z in the next couple of years. So within 20 minutes, we closed the deal on call with him that, hey, this is our offer, this is what we're going to do, and we want exclusivity. And within 24 hours, the term sheet went to them, and within 72 hours, the first level of term sheet was closed. Within first week, the entire due diligence was done, and second week, the transfer process of all the trademarks of uh, all the internal जो भी चीजें थी वो चालू हो गई एंड थर्ड एंड फोर्थ वीक में तो ट्रांजैक्शन क्लोज हो गया तो आई थिंक द स्पीड वाज one of the main reasons we won But what we have battled, because of course 20 crores was not a easy thing. We had to pull off a lot of strings to ensure that we can have the liquidity to buy it. And yeah, it was a roller coaster ride for me and my co-founders. Every day, the three of us used to meet in the morning and decide, okay, what's next? How are we gonna do this entire thing? This happened for at least 3 weeks straight till the time the entire acquisition happened. But yeah, that's how the acquisition happened.
Solid intent and the speed at which you were operating made it happen.
Yeah, that was one of the core factors that no one else could get into the deal, because for the Good Glam promoters also, the speed
Mhm.
was the key.
Okay.
Usually, a deal transaction takes around 3 months to happen,
And you,
and he was okay to do it in 2 months. But we, being the opportunistic, fast people, we wanted to do it in 30 days, so that there are no chances also of, because we knew that we are getting ScoopWhoop at a great deal, right? I think Hitesh, you would agree that the brand value of ScoopWhoop, for whatever price that we have paid, is a great buy, right? So we knew ki, hey, we don't want any odd scenarios, someone topping up the money, or like we wanted to avoid any and every scenario, and that's why we moved in a span of actually less than 30 days. We closed the entire transaction in 22 days.
I absolutely agree. ScoopWhoop is a great brand to have in your portfolio. And I'm personally very excited to see how WLDD and ScoopWhoop create more value for the digital content ecosystem in India. And I
Correct.
think it's a very interesting piece that you're telling me that you took about 20 minutes to close the intent and your offer, as well as, like, say, what people take about 3 months to close on something, and you did it in about 72 hours. Obviously, the due diligence and everything would have taken more time.
Correct.
So I do get it that for Woodgam promoters, what worked was your intent, your speed at which you were operating. But if I had to take a step back, and like you said that you and your co-founders had a discussion on what can ScoopWhoop do for you, or where
Yeah.
is it that you could scale ScoopWhoop. So if you could
Yeah.
point like two, three things which were very enticing for you to like go that quick and go that aggressive on this
Right.
acquisition, what would those be?
So one so there are multiple things. I'll start with YouTube, right? So we have grown up watching ScoopWhoop YouTube, me and my co-founders, right? Before we even started WLDD, we used to consume ScoopWhoop YouTube content, from SW Cafe to OK Tested to their unscripted content, right? So we know that, hey, there was a bank, there was great content. It just needs to be restructured and re made fresh in today's landscape, and that is also our strength. Recently in October, WLDD took a massive bet on the entire video content landscape, and we moved over 40 people to to a new to a new uh, to a new wing in the company called Velocity, where the focus is to create viral bite-sized content and create media properties leveraging that, right? So we knew if we can just merge the idea of its old IPs and create better new content, we can restart their YouTube with a bang, right? Because last 2 years में YouTube में उनका action नहीं था. Plus they have not one but three YouTube channels. The main ScoopWhoop, which has more than 2.4 million subscribers. Then there is OK Tested, which is a superb channel for the new age. To they people usually see OK Tested content when they're eating food, right? So we knew, okay, OK Tested में तो हम कोई भी चीज टेस्ट करा सकते हैं, right? So we knew कि the avenues of content are unlimited. And then there was ScoopWhoop Hindi, which we're still figuring what to do. But OK Tested and ScoopWhoop YouTube were reason number one to acquire the company. Reason number two was the overall Instagram and Facebook base that they have, a total of 10 million followers across IG and Facebook, which would immediately add a lot of muscle to our existing media properties. Before ScoopWhoop, the largest Instagram channel that we had close to 9 lakh followers. And after ScoopWhoop, now the largest channel we have is a 2.5 million follower channel, and maybe one of the most recognized channel in the entire country. So that was number two, the reason number two for buying it. Reason number three was honestly we these were the two reasons that we bought it. There was no reason number three, and the reason number three was maybe the dream that hey, we can do so many things with ScoopWhoop, right? So because of that dream, that what we can do with it for the next 3 years, I think that was one of the reasons. In fact, one of the thoughts that we have currently is to build a Gen Z news app, because news apps are boring, and Instagram, while it gives the right news, it is also flooded with a lot of cringe content, right? So we also want to balance it out for the next generation, where they can consume credible news in a format that they like. And instead of starting something new and building a brand, I think ScoopWhoop gives that credibility and that brand power to this news app very fast. So that was also one more reason.
The reasons that you listed out are perfectly logical. The way I see it, I think WLDD, whatever you've been doing for the last 8 years or so, like
Yeah.
you've been championing the whole pop culture effort in India, and like maybe initially it was more focused on Instagram, but over time you've spread your wings. So I feel that a merger or an acquisition of WLDD with ScoopWhoop makes you like that number one entity to drive or to influence pop culture, or even to
Ex-
be a custodian to the pop culture in India. And I think
exactly.
that is the reason that would tip me off, in the sense that if I had to do this, I would do this for that intent. And that's why I think when I read the news report first, I messaged you saying that is this already done, or is there a scope for us also to chip in.
Right.
So Aryan,
But
tell
you,
me.
we already have you as an investor.
Yeah, so full
Yeah.
disclosure for our listeners,
Yeah.
I am a angel, like a very small little angel investor in WLDD's journey from a couple of
Yes.
years. For doing an acquisition of this scale that you said, about 20 CR, and it's also there out in the media,
Right.
how did you manage the finances of it? How did you get the confidence that you can turn it around so quick? Like the intent is there,
Right.
the like I think the intent was there, the term sheets were there in front of you, but how did you
Correct.
manage the funds for it to do this at this speed?
So actually we were also going, हमने फर्स्ट एक व्हाइट बोर्ड खोला और वहां पे लिखा रिजर्व्स कितने हैं, किससे पैसा मांगेंगे तो मिल जाएंगे, रिसीवेबल्स कितने हैं, what kind of receivables do we have, what kind of brands can we call and tell them to accelerate the receivables, and what are the debt opportunities, what are the fundraising opportunities. We wrote everything down, and yeah, we just connected all the dots. Okay, we have 25% of the acquisition money with us in the bank. We have another 25% in receivables, right? So we're like, okay, 50% sorted. Sorry, 25% in receivables that we can receive within the next 15 days if we put pressure on them. And the rest 50%, we did a very fast movement on whom can we call uh, in terms of debt, in both friends and families, and also debt players. I think my co-founder and my finance guy, they figured they spoke to every debt company in the entire country to figure out the best slabs and best क्या टाइम पे डिप्लॉयमेंट हो सकता है and everything. And yeah, so we did a mix of debt and equity, sorry, debt and reserves, and closed the deal. It was not easy, but we did this once when we started WLDD way back in 2018, where we had 1,000 rupees in our pockets, and we had a campaign worth 13 lakh rupees that was given to us, which needed at least 7 lakh rupees to execute. तो वो टाइम पे हम द वे वी मैनेज द 7 लाख, asking my mom, asking my co-founders parents, their cousins, their friends, my cousins, right? So we had gone through a similar situation 7 years back, and that was reliving that same situation, but just the numbers moved up from 7 lakhs to 20 crores.
Yeah, you guys took me on a trip down the memory lane. I think this was 2016-17 when I took over full control of Social Samosa, and I did something similar
Oh,
where
yes.
I, I eventually I too raised money from friends and family itself. I didn't get any
Uh,
external borrowers of sorts. But yeah, I know that me and my mother and my wife, we were speaking to almost all our relatives with good affinity to see that what kind of funds they can give and at what scale they could give us. Because I also was in a hurry to close on that acquisition. So I remember
oh,
I had a conversation with Social Samosa investors back then on
right.
22nd April, and 1st May was when I took control. So all of this happened
Wow.
in 9 days for me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
So that's a, like I'm living what
you
I'm
you can
reliving
feel it.
what you did, and
Yeah.
I can totally feel it because going out and acquiring a publication which has stood through the test of times according to my understanding, and which brought in a very big content revolution. It's a big
Yes.
feat for you all, and I remember when I heard about ScoopWhoop and WLDD, I was speaking to someone in my family, and I was like, "Do you know about Scoop Poop?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, the company where I've invested a small amount in just acquired them
Yes.
today, and it's like a very happy feeling to be a part of, to be
Right.
a very small part of this journey. Um,
You are a very big part, sir. We were saying that
yeah,
the way social samosa covered us, right? We felt so happy that we are with the right people, right? Because I think your LinkedIn posts and social posts were not just coverage, but it was out of love that you were posting also that ki, hey, there
yeah,
was a there was, we could feel the happiness in that message.
right.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
and that really reflected
it
with
all
us.
came from the heart. So,
Thank you so
Aryan,
much.
tell me, what
Yeah.
are the next steps for this acquisition? What are your immediate action points? Do you have like a three
So,
month or a 6 month plan with ScoopUp? What is it that you have in store?
yes. So my co-founder Vivek, who was also who's always led the content operations at WLDD, and was leading the entire velocity vertical, has taken over the ship of ScoopWhoop. He's already on his way to Delhi. Uh, he's already done his first level of calls with all the teammates, and starting a 100-day process where we revamp the entire. So we are going to start with Instagram because that is something we know best. Then we are going to take on YouTube as a platform, and parallelly start building website as well. So yeah, there are a few ideas on how, what kind of Instagram content we want to do, what kind of videos we want to do, what kind of family we want to create around ScoopWhoop, like how Insider did in US. They have Insider Food, Insider Business, they have Insider Lifestyle. Similarly, we want to create a ScoopWhoop family as well. So yeah, there are a few thoughts on how we want to create the family, what avenues we want to take, what genres we want to leverage. And we're also going to take everything calculated in a way where we know which genres attract the highest advertising revenue as well. So we're going to think of that as well before making some moves. Because the step one for us is creating a bank, second, creating a steady stream of revenue, and third, to restructure the entire team that fits into the entire velocity vertical that we have. So in velocity vertical, we have 40 people, all young, like average age group, average age size would be 23, 24, and everyone has a couple of million views to their names in the last 3 months. They've created viral content for ad parody. They've created viral content for V Decoded. They've created viral content for a few brands. And we want to just bring that magic to ScoopWhoop now in sync with the audience of ScoopWhoop. So there might be a chances we'll lose some audience, we'll gain some audience, but yeah, that's gonna be the fun part, I think. And next 100 days will actually next 120 days. My bad. 121st डे को हमको पता चलेगा कि यार हमने क्या उखाड़ा है इसको पुप को लेने के बाद. So yeah, and we have taken the company in public, so I think a lot of people are gonna watch us. So we have to do a great fucking job bringing it back.
I think, like with Instagram, because I know that WLDD has so many Instagram communities already, and you have a hang of how to build and scale on
Correct.
Instagram. I feel
Correct.
like that part of Scopu business is quite sorted for you. And even from a
100%.
monetization perspective, I know the kind of business WLDD has in terms of Instagram distribution. So I'm sure like that part of revenue is quite sorted for you. Whatever
Correct.
synergies you're exploring with velocity and video content or the reinvention of ScoopWhoop YouTube would be an interesting thing to see. And I think in general, even brands would now start having a lot of faith in ScoopWhoop all over again because they know that there is a better custodian which has come in place and a custodian which
Correct.
is already in this digital business and not doing it passively. Because I feel
Correct.
the approach what Good Clan Group had was futuristic in nature, was
Mm.
about the whole content to commerce journey, while you've been operating on this content side of business from quite some time.
Correct. So I think that will be great to have where businesses will trust us to do a great job for their brand. Uh, for
Right.
example, we already have spoken to a refrigerator brand, right? Very boring business. But the people don't feel refrigerators are sexy, but we want to change that. And we're on track to do a 52 video deal with them, where we will be stacking the refrigerators every week with new things. And so we're gonna have a lot of fun also along the way of monetization is the aim. Yeah.
So I think when ScoopWhoop had started, or like when they were at a peak, I think
Right.
sometime in 2016, 17, I know that every brand out there wanted to do sponsored content with ScoopWhoop and they wanted to do integrations in their article. And I feel
Correct.
you are sitting on an opportunity where you could do that all over again. Just that article could be one of the things, but more integrations from the video side of things, or more integrations on the IPs that they already have, or the ones that you would plan to build. Is
Correct.
like that is something that would be interesting to see because I know from a consumer content standpoint, there are not enough players who are doing justice to content, and that
Correct.
is where I think Scoop fits in the right spot for you, and
Right.
even for brands who are exploring content marketing at scale.
Correct.
So you gave me a gist of your 120 days with ScoopWhoop, the 120-day plan with ScoopWhoop. But if I had to take a long-term view from you, what is the
Uh,
future you envision for ScoopWhoop and WLDD and ScoopWhoop together?
right. So I think that ScoopWhoop will independently run the media company side of it. Between the three co-founders, we have very structurally and strategically divided our work, right? Jaidev leads the entire solo creator app and the media acquisition business, where we are planning our entire regional play of creators and automating the entire journey for brands to activate young creators in the country. I am going to lead the marketing services business of it, and Vivek is going to lead the ScoopWhoop and the media vertical of it. So that gives us the independence to run three different ships, but all these three ships are complementary to each other. So I think that entire complementary angle will help us bring the best of all three genres. Uh, with the media business, our aim is to reach 500 million people every month in the next at the end of 18 months, right? And to do that, we're gonna venture also into the app business, where we were creating a Gen Z app for we're creating a news media app for the Gen Z consumers, so that they can have a clutter free and uh, their vibe uh, news consumption in the way they feel comfortable. Within a 6 months to 1 year period, we might be the most downloaded news app of the country for the Gen Zs.
So
Yes.
I'll go back to one of the questions that I had earlier and I parked it for later. So
Sure.
WLDD started as fast marketing, I remember. You were doing
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
you were doing memes for OTT shows and like or OTT shows to be precise, and then obviously you scaled it into a full fledged, like you scaled it into a meme marketing agency. I didn't like how people were reporting it to be like a meme marketing startup, because I don't think you are a meme marketing agency anymore. You
Exactly.
are like you have evolved and you are quite integrated in your approach. So for an agency, and like all this while you were an agency, but for an agency to break through all the traditional norms of like going beyond being an agency to even having your own Instagram communities in the beginning, and then to
Right.
even, I know the three of you have invested in a lot of D2C startups over the last 4 5 years. I know
Correct.
that you are building an app for creators which is Solo.
Correct.
um, what is
We
the
also
play
have
here?
Lit
So you are
School, by the way.
not, so yeah.
We also have Lit School, the entire
Yeah.
education vertical.
Right, it's a creator education school again. So what is the
Correct.
play here? You're no more an agency in my understanding. So what is it that you would describe WLDD as today? I mean, in a line, if you were to give an interview to a very big media channel like say a CNN or a Forbes, how would you define
Right.
WLDD at this point in time?
Yeah. So to describe WLDD, I have to go a little back. Before starting WLDD, we had no clue of how marketing agencies work, how media works, or anything. We didn't know any words also related to the industry, because we were far off from this world, sitting in a small city called Belgaum, right? And when we came to Bangalore, that's where we got a little exposed to this, but that too from the outskirts of it.
Right.
Yeah, we built the entire company uh, on our way and our understanding of how we have to build a business, right? Of course, we have taken inspiration from a lot of companies out there, but in its truest form, we have not followed a, a playbook in the sense, right? And that's why you see a lot of WLED doing a lot of things. But the main aim is, how can WLED be the pillar of the attention economy? How can how can WLED actually create a company where from the talent to the output, everything is managed inside the company, right? And how can we leverage the entire ecosystem at play to help brands really, really break the clutter, and do things that they wouldn't have thought of in the years to come. I think that's the immediate answer for it. Definitely, we are not just a normal agency. I think we've always been fascinated the way Reliance has built a conglomerate, the way RPSG has built a conglomerate, the way other big companies have built businesses, right? So I think that's where we've drawn the inspiration in hindsight and
Basically, you want to
supporting the
build
new
a
media.
new media conglomerate. You don't want to restrict yourself to a conventional structure of sorts. You want to be
Yes,
flexible, and you want to tap on opportunities whenever you see them.
yes. You're absolutely right.
Time for a quick wrap with Arihant. One dream acquisition you have in mind.
यार वो नेम कैसे करूं? नेम कर दूंगा तो पब्लिक इन्फॉर्मेशन हो जाएगा.
Or maybe you could define a sector or like maybe not the name of it, but white label it with a description.
Scoop was actually a dream acquisition, and after that, currently we don't have anything in mind. To be very honest.
Okay, okay. One
Yes.
one brand that you've always dreamed of working with, you might have already worked with, but like one dream brand that was on your list and you've accomplished or you're yet to accomplish.
One dream brand on my list currently uh, is a snack brand. I have not worked with a snack brand closely because I've been a consumer of snacks. I definitely want to have that option to work with a snack brand. One more dream brand that I want to desperately work with is Maggie. So if you can make that happen, Hitesh, that will be great.
I know of
Yes,
connections in Maggie for sure. I mean, I can put you in touch with some.
that'll be great.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
like one dream that you are chasing even now. So there is ScoopWhoop was one of your dreams, but what is
right.
that one dream that you're still chasing?
So WLDD going for an IPO is the dream that we are chasing right now.
I know of agencies that are taking the IPO route, and all I can say is that it's a very bold and ambitious thought in the first place. More power to you all, and all the very best for this massive leap.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
One last thing.
Yes.
If you were to expand, like if you were given an option to go deep and wide in India, would you choose
Ah.
that versus taking WLDD global?
I would go deep and wide in India. I believe there is a lot of opportunity in India, and a lot of people miss that, and they start going to Dubai as their first pit stop, and then they try Europe. And I believe India इतना बड़ा है, इतने सारे languages है, इतने सारे cities है, इतने सारे companies है, इतने सारे MSMEs है, right? तो इंडिया को cater करते मेरे और 5 साल निकल जाएंगे minimum. So I want to go very deep in it. Yeah.
And I don't know if you would want to answer this, but one company that you envy, like any peers or any agency or a company that you envy and you feel that what they are doing is the right thing to do and probably I should be doing that too. Or
So
I should have done.
there's one company in America. It's called Doing Things Media that raised say around $21 million to buy channels like ScoopWhoop. I envy them because they had access to capital, and they could take the bets that they can uh, purely because capital was not a problem. And in India, I believe uh, to show that vision, it's still a little challenging for a company that is turning from an agency to a new media company. So yeah, I always envy them. I bring them up in a lot of conversations.
Thank you so much, Arihan, for sharing the inside scoop on WLDD's acquisition of ScoopWhoop. For me personally, the biggest takeaway from this acquisition is that if you follow your passions and you work hard towards it, dreams do come true.
I think that was a great conversation. And yeah, thanks for calling me. And I think this is the first time I've ever spoken to media. after the acquisition.
Thank you for jumping on this quick call with Hitesh. I'll see you in the next episode.